What's going on, YouTube? We are live with Coastal Boxing Club. I'm live here with Ching Ming. What's up, Ching Ming?
Yo, what's up, E? What's going on with you, man?
Ain't shit, ain't shit. You already know. We just live on another podcast, trying to get our subscription up and our likes.
Yeah, man, just trying to get everybody to come on, like, comment, subscribe. We're trying to get things going around here. This is just the everyday man's boxing channel. You know, we don't disrespect people that come on, and we accept people that want to learn about boxing. You know what I mean? The so-called casuals or whatever that they like to say. Like, how people gonna learn about boxing if you're gonna disrespect them just because they don't know? You know what I mean? How they gonna learn? You know what I'm saying? So, like, anybody that wants to learn about boxing, wants to know about it, this is where it's at. We're gonna have it popping, and let's get it. Let's get into these little topics that we was gonna rap about, my brother. Let's get into it.
All right. So,
All
yo,
right. First
bro,
things.
we seen that shit yesterday. What was it? Wait, let me get my day straight. Sunday. You seen that shit on Sunday? Oh my god!
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Of course, man. You saw the video I posted about it. You know how I feel about it. You know, um, and we've been seeing all the videos when everybody out here right now is talking about like the hate and such and so forth that people are putting towards Mayweather and everything like that. But man, it's warranted. You feel what I'm saying? It's warranted. Like, if we really want to break things down in regards to Mayweather's twilight of his career, he made the most money that he made in his career towards the back end of his career when he was on his way out. You know what I mean? He was on his way out the door. He made the most money he made, and the fights that he fought were absolute garbage fights. This is one of the best fighters ever, but it cannot be denied that ever since he fought Canelo Alvarez, that the quality of the fights had just went all the way down. I mean, he fought Pacquiao after that. You know what I'm saying? He fought Pacquiao. It was just an absolute. It was an ugly fight. It was super ugly fight. Then and in between, somewhere in there you fought like Robert Guerrero. Like, what the fuck? Why are you fighting him? He ain't on your level. You fight him, you make a whole bunch of money, and it's a robbery. It's another robbery because the man don't deserve to even be in the ring with you in any way, shape, or form. You know what I'm saying? So then your farewell fight, your retirement fight, Brody. You fought Andre Berto. You fought Andre Berto, and then you try to justify that. You sold it to everybody that he would be stiff competition. You know why you did that? You want to know why he tried to play that like that, cuz? Because people was talking shit about him fighting Mexicans. People kept talking shit about him fighting Mexicans, and then he fought Manny Pacquiao, and like Maidana, Latino. He was fighting a bunch of Latino fighters. You know what I'm saying? So he wanted to try to sell people that Andre Berto would be competition because he was black. I can't see no other way but to swing it like that, And then on top of all that, after all of that, what'd he do? After he so-called retired, right? Then what'd he do after that? Okay, now we got like 3 fights after Canelo that wasn't worth a fuck. All right. Everybody was paying $100 for the HD pay-per-view, having fight parties, all of that. All right. Then you retire. Then you come back and you fight Conor McGregor. Okay. You fight Conor. Now, we all know you carried him too. Okay. That fight had a little bit more excitement in it than your last few fights. And it wasn't because of you, though. It was because of Conor McGregor trying to do every fucking thing that he could. You know what I'm saying? So then you get that situation, and then like after that, what happens after that? The Japanese situation
Japanese fight.
happens. The Japan shit. Yeah, when he fights the little kickboxer. All right.
Okay.
Now, from what I hear, little speculations. You know what I'm saying? The money wasn't right. Like he was expected to get X amount of dollars, and they only had X amount for him. So what he do? Went out there, knocked the little guy out in a minute, some change, knocked him out in the first round. You know what I'm saying? But that's another bullshit fight. All right. And then you turn around and do this shit.
I mean,
like
literally
what else
it's
did it say?
without a match.
This is a whole. These are just a long string of bad fights. They're not really watchable fights. They're awful fights. All right. And he made a lot of the money that he made. Dog, he made okay off the McGregor fight and the Pacquiao fight. Just off of, I'm just speculating, of course, I don't know, but just off the Pacquiao fight and the McGregor fight, he might have made about like $300 million. Okay, just off of them two fights alone, he probably made like $100 million off of Canelo too. You know what I'm saying? The guy has made the biggest chunk of his money. He didn't start making no money till he fought Oscar De La Hoya. That's for starters. You know what I'm saying? Right. He didn't start making no money till he fought Oscar. But then, you know, he started piling up. That's all great. But to be real, the bulk of your earnings have come on the back end of your career when you were fighting shitty fights. And it may not be all your fault, but it's a lot your fault because you're not willing to engage. You know what I'm saying? And the Logan Paul shit was just the icing on the cake. People keep saying stuff like, "Oh well, it's just the exhibition, and what do you expect was gonna happen? Floyd Mayweather's this and that. He's this and that." Well, I'm just gonna say it to you like this:
yeah,
he's been fighting exhibition fights ever since Canelo. You know what I'm saying? So for everybody to just constantly be out here and just trying to just dismiss what he did with this situation, to dismiss it because it's just Logan Paul, it's nobody, he's nobody. It's not that. He treated world-class fighters the same way. He did the same thing to them. He fought them. He sold a fight that wasn't really there. He sold a fight that he didn't have in him. Now that is good business expertise, and I respect that. If you want to make money, but the whole thing is that now that we know that this is what it is, we should not contribute to it any further. And that's really all I want to say about the whole Floyd Mayweather situation.
I mean, right? Because like, I feel like you're putting money into something that you're expecting something to be. You know, you're expecting it to be more than what it was. It's like a lot of people pay to watch this fight. And it's like, you know, not taking nothing away from it, but it's like it didn't met my expertise. You know, it didn't reach my satisfaction. You know, it started off it started off right, but then I feel like the fifth round it just started like, you know, crickets. You know, like, okay, what's going on right now? Nothing. Like, I'm just keep thinking like, yo, Pacquiao is 2 years younger than Floyd, but still fighting great fighters. He's fighting great fighters. He's not fighting people who has no name or non boxers with no background or anything like that. He's fighting A1 fighters. He's fighting the fighters that is in the mix right now. So,
yes, sir. Yes, sir. um, Manny Pacquiao, if he was in, let me say what I think. Let me give my opinion. All right. If Manny Pacquiao was in these situations that Mayweather has been in with his last three fights with the kickboxer, Conor McGregor, and Logan Paul, we wouldn't want to see these fights no more.
Right.
Because Pacquiao will go out there and trash them and show that and prove to everybody that don't bring your ass over here if you ain't got no game. Don't bring your ass over here into boxing if you ain't got no game. Don't be just coming over here trying to make no money. Because if you fight me, I'm gonna crack your skull.
Mm-hmm.
And if he fought Conor McGregor wouldn't last 3 rounds, Manny Pacquiao. 3 rounds. It wouldn't go 3 rounds. You know what I'm saying? He would get, man, Logan Paul be knocked out in the first round. Because he would try to do it. You feel what I'm saying? It's the difference. He would go for it. And I don't even know why I'm talking about Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather in the same sense, man. I don't even know why I'm talking about them in the same level because they're not on the same level right now. You know, so and
you can't compare two fighters.
It almost makes
it always makes me mad because it's
I'm just saying
like he's like, yo, Floyd is the greatest of all time, and like that's the kind of show that you put out. It's like, yo, come on, man. Like, come on, man.
That's a good point right there. How great can you be, right? How great can you really be if the last 3 fights you done fought, they ain't even been boxers? You know what I'm saying? They ain't even been boxers. And on top of that, like, how great can you be when your fights are just ugly? It just be making me think about things sometimes. It just reflect. You go back and you look at.
I mean, like, hear me out. I might be wrong, but usually when I hear a fighter is fighting somebody and they're supposed to be a great fighter or one of the greatest, I hear them fighting other people who's on their level, not someone who's trash. I mean, I understand if it's a tune-up fight, but even you're not going to fight someone who's completely trash in a tune-up fight. That's why you have sparring gyms and you go spar for that.
Yeah. Facts, man. Mayweather has fought a lot of great fighters. I ain't taking that from him. He didn't beat a lot of champions. You know what I'm saying? And I won't knock him for that. But I will go out and say, I will go out and say that I do believe that he handpicked guys that fit his style well to beat them. You get what I'm trying to say?
Right. Like there's certain fights.
Marcos Maidana.
There's certain fights that he
like Maidana.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like Marcos Maidana. He fought him twice. The first time was an ugly fight, just an ugly all. Marcos Maidana leaning all on him on the ropes and just throwing whatever kind of punch, anything to get to score. You know what I'm saying? But in all actuality, Marcos Maidana ain't gonna do nothing but stand in front of Floyd and pretty much make himself available to get whacked. The only way you can beat him is to make it ugly. So it's like, it's been so many fights where Floyd Mayweather has done great in fights and has looked good as a fighter, but the fights be ugly. The fights be ugly, and he don't engage. He don't engage. It seemed like the only time I seen him really engage in a long time was against Canelo Alvarez. Like, I'm not saying that he don't fight.
I mean,
but he don't engage.
Then you have to think about, and also Miguel Cotto.
No, Miguel Cotto was one of his brilliant fights too. That was brilliant because he stood right in the pocket. He looked right at Miguel Cotto the whole fight and was like, "What you want to do?" You know what I'm saying? Stood right in front of him, took his best shots. Miguel Cotto got in some good shots, but Floyd almost knocked Cotto out like twice in that fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was hitting him with a lot of big shots. He was really going at him. Like, my favorite performances from Floyd, I got 3 of them. All right. My favorite 3 performances from Floyd, probably number 1 is probably Arturo Gatti. That's my favorite Floyd Mayweather performance. He just beat the dog shit out that man. It just wasn't even right. Like, He made it look like it should have looked when he fought Logan Paul. You know what he told Gaddy before he beat him? He said, "You a C-class fighter, bro. I'm gonna show the whole world. You the world. You the champion of the world, and I'm gonna show the whole world that you ain't nothing but a C-class fighter." And he went out there and just annihilated the man. 3 multiple punch combinations with the same hand. I'm talking about hitting this man with 4 or 5 punch combinations with just the right hand. Up top, down bottom, bop, bop, 4 punches to the body. The dude just had no rap for it. Okay, that's my favorite Mayweather performance. All right. Now, number 2 is probably Canelo Alvarez. Like Canelo, whew, he put it in Canelo's life. Canelo had no rap for it, but at the same time, this is what I'm talking about. The Canelo then was tailored. And not only that, they both tailored. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, they don't box. They didn't box like that. They're brawlers. They're low-key brawlers. Canelo was just learning how to really box at that time. He can fight, but the boxing, like the way he is now, that wasn't there yet.
No, you know, because now the Canelo I see now is a Canelo who is in his prime now. The Canelo back then was not. The Canelo what was back then is 22-year-old Canelo, you know, a young Canelo that's, you know, that was still learning at the time. But now it's like, hey,
facts.
Now the same Canelo who we know as of today will definitely beat Floyd Mayweather. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, come on, man.
Like
serious?
There's no comparing. After the fight, what I saw on Sunday, there's no comparing at all. Like I'm not
been evident for.
I'm not paying for another Mayweather fight after what I saw on Sunday. I'm sorry, it's not happening.
Oh, all right, well,
it's not happening.
Hey, well, we came to that conclusion because, like, well, look, I explained it. Plain and simple, since Canelo Alvarez, his fights have been bad fights. And they have what he makes and what people pay. They have not. Plain and simple. It's a damn shame. Like, why is it that this argument comes up Floyd Mayweather, but Manny Pacquiao, it don't never come up? Because Manny always bring it. Manny always bring it. It's hard to hear those excuses from Floyd when I see Manny Pacquiao don't do those things. You know what I mean? Like, flat out. Regardless, I think Floyd Mayweather is a better fighter than Manny Pacquiao. Without a doubt, I do. But I can't knock Manny Pacquiao at all, because you call yourself the greatest and the best ever, and you never lost a fight. But I mean, shit. Does that really mean everything that you didn't lose a fight? I mean, because it's easy to do that. It's not hard to do that if you do it a certain way. The last maybe 12 or 13. The last 12 or 13 fights. The last 12 or 13 fights, man, the boys was really, really handpicked for this guy. You know what I mean? Like, I remember back in the day when he couldn't pick his fights, he was in some fucking absolute wars. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, I wouldn't say wars, but he would get into it. These guys would come at him. You know what I mean? Like, when he beat everybody, but like, he had good fights with Diego Corrales. He had a couple of good fights with Jose Luis Castillo. You know, Endo's a crazy old weird fight. He's fought guys and had to really, really, you know. I mean, did he win all the fights? Yes, but as he got older, the fights, the guys that he fought, it almost like it was like they were tailored. It's like, this guy ain't really no boxer. He's a brawler. He's gonna stand in front of me and try to do everything to just knock me out. He ain't gonna try to be technical. He's not gonna try to box with me. He's just gonna try to come in here and take my head off.
Right.
So it's easy for a guy that's technically sound like Mayweather to get them out of there, because they can't outbox you. Like, that's why when he was getting older, like, that's why everybody wanted to see the Oscar De La Hoya fight, they first fight, the fight that when they fought, because they were like, all the guys, like lately, the guys that Mayweather's fighting are tailored to his style for him to win. But now we got Oscar that can throw a jab, combinations, can move, head movement, can throw good body punches, etc., etc. Okay, and then so that's why everybody wanted to see that matchup, because they wanted to see somebody that actually knew how to throw fucking combinations and box against him. And it was an okay fight. I wasn't really the biggest fan of it. It was okay. It wasn't crazy or nothing like that, but it was still an entertaining fight. But you know why it was entertaining? Because he had a guy that was game, was trying to fight, you know what I mean? So, but like everybody else, I could just go down the list of guys to just keep going. Like y'all know, he was tailored for him. He was tailored for him. He was tailored for him. There were other guys that were out there that was fighting around that time, that were champions, that had boxing game, that were boxers, legit boxers, not like certain situations with catch weights, like with Juan Manuel Marquez. Like, come on, bruh. You was way bigger than him. You knew you was gonna beat him. He just didn't have enough size to even deal with it. And it's almost the same thing like with Pacquiao. No matter how good Pacquiao might be, he can't beat Floyd Mayweather off the gift and the fact that he's not big enough. And Floyd deboed him in they fight.
And that's why I say,
man. So I just got reservations about it all, because I feel like a lot of, you could say 50-0 and all that stuff like that. That's all fine and cool. But if you really want to break it down, if you really want to get ignorant about the whole situation, you could look at it and be like, yo, a lot of these dudes that he beat, yeah, they was champions. But the way that they styles meet your style is fitted perfect for you to get W's. You're supposed to beat them because they can't outbox you. And you you low key kind of like there's a lot of boxers out there that you didn't do the damn thing with that you could have at the time. But he fought a lot of Latino fighters because the Latinos buy pay-per-views. Look, the Latinos buy pay-per-views. The Latinos, if it's a Latino from another country, he got local fans that will fly to Vegas, spend the money, gamble, buy the expensive tickets, be there a week before the fight, and party and spend a whole lot of money. That's why he fought all of them Latino fighters and those Mexican fighters, like Latino fighters on the way out the door. You know what I'm saying? Because they buy pay-per-views. It wasn't, and they were champions at the same time. So it adds up. It looks good. It's neat. You feel what I'm saying? It comes off right when you got, oh, all right, he's a champion. If I beat him, you can't hate on me because I just beat a champion. Even though y'all know his style don't match mine. He's a brawler. He don't move his head. He gonna stand in front of me and he gonna let me pop shot him all night, and I'm gonna beat him by unanimous decision because he don't got the skills. All right, but it's all good because he's a champion. I beat him. You know what I'm saying? So when he goes back, he says, all I did, I beat nothing but champions. That's all I did was beat champions. So like, and you look at that and you're like, yeah, you know what, you're right, bro. Yeah, you did. You beat nothing but a bunch of champions. But you beat guys that didn't stand a chance, even though they was champions. They didn't stand a chance because of their fighting styles. You know what I mean? So it's really, really weird when I start talking about the end of Floyd Mayweather's career. Like, I'm not knocking his skill. Never will. He's one of my favorite fighters. I'm not gonna knock that. Never going to deny Floyd how, like, if I could tell him straight up, I would tell him how I feel. But in regards to the entertainer, the promoter and all that other stuff, and like getting me to come to your fights or getting me to order a pay-per-view fight or gamble on your fights, because I've done that a lot. You feel me? I've done that a lot. And there's been, you know what I used to always gamble the most on that really used to let me down? because there'd be guys that he done fought. Like when he fought Robert Guerrero, I bet $300 that he would knock him out. Why would I do that, cuz? Why would I bet $300 that he would knock him out?
Because you was definitely confident.
Because he's supposed to knock him the fuck out.
Exactly, because you was very confident.
Supposed to knock him the fuck out.
That he's gonna knock him the fuck out because who is he? He's the greatest.
He don't belong in the ring with you, bro.
Exactly.
Yes, exactly. Like I bet, like 300 knockout. Oh, he gonna win the fight. Oh, he gonna win by decision. No. This guy gonna get knocked the fuck out. He don't belong. You know what I'm saying? But you know what? Floyd Mayweather beats him, takes his title off of him, and then he can be like, look, I just beat another champion. Man, motherfucker, Robert Guerrero wasn't really no champion. Let's keep it a buck. You know what I'm saying? You beat up Victor Ortiz. You knocked him stone cold when he had his head turned after he headbutted you. But I wasn't mad about that. He deserved that because you got to protect yourself at all times. So I'm not mad about that. But you fighting Victor Ortiz in the first place is some bullshit. Victor Ortiz just beat Andre Berto, right? He took Andre Berto's title. Okay. Why didn't Floyd Mayweather want to fight Andre Berto before that? Berto was champ for like a year or two before Victor Ortiz came and beat him. You get what I'm saying? So why didn't Floyd want to smoke with Berto? Because he was black and he was athletic. But when you look at the situation then you see Floyd Mayweather was sitting ringside when Berto and Victor Ortiz fought. You know what I'm saying? So once he seen Berto lose to Victor Ortiz, he was like, oh, that's the money. Victor Ortiz Latino, they gonna buy the pay-per-views. That's why he fought Victor Ortiz, and that's why he fought Berto way too late. Why he didn't want to fight Berto when he was champ? He waited to see what would happen with Victor Ortiz. And if Victor Ortiz would have lost, I guarantee you Mayweather probably would have not. That would have been all the more reason for Mayweather to not fight Berto. You feel me? So like I said, he's one of my favorite fighters, but I can definitely talk shit about the end of his career where he made all the money. This is what I'm talking about. Where he made the bulk of his money. Okay. The fights were not all that. Like I could through the last 12, 13 fights, we could just go through all of them. And it's like, okay, that one was cool. That one was that one was ass. You'll say that one was ass a lot. He had a lot of whack ass fights. And that's just what it is with me, man. Like Pacquiao bring it all the time. I just can't hate on that. He bring it, and he about to fight somebody. You know what I mean? This is one of the best. These two of the best fighters in the world. I think it's impressive as fuck that Manny Pacquiao is like a politician. This is a motherfucking politician over there in Philippines. This motherfucker be goddamn probably be president one day. You know what I'm saying? And he still find the time to be sharp enough to come over here and not only fight, but fight good, like fight world class and beat top guys. Beat top guys. We ain't talking about like half step with them. We talking about beat them, fight them. He ain't running. He even left when he left Bob Arum. He went to Al Heyman. Why'd he go to Al Heyman? He went to Al Heyman so he could fight the big fights. Because Al Heyman and them got all the fucking champions and all the big money fighters in his stable. You stay with Bob Arum, you fucking around fight Timothy Bradley 18 times. You feel what I'm saying? Because he ain't got nobody to fucking fight him. You sitting around trying to figure, so he goes to Al Heyman because he ain't never scared. He wanted all the smoke. Pacquiao wanted all the smoke. I can't disrespect that because Pacquiao won all the smoke. I don't care what people talk about, but Floyd's retired. Okay? It is what it is. That's cool he retired. But damn, man, these exhibition fights, they just ain't worth what you asking for. They just not. None of that shit be worth it. It sucks that we pay it. And if we're gonna pay for it, don't hit us upside the head. That's what I say. Like you shouldn't be hit upside the head for it. Because you don't put on, you don't. You just do just enough to win. You do just enough to win against people that you know have no chance to really beat you. That's fucked up. That's Vegas. Floyd Mayweather is Vegas. He's Las Vegas in the boxing ring. You know what I'm saying? Little risk, high reward. Because all they got to do is add the tables and show up. People gonna fuck their money up. You know what I mean? So like he goes in there and like, yo, this guy can't beat me, but I'm gonna make so much bread. The chicken gonna be crazy. So like we can go on and on about it, but that's what it is for me, bro. Like that's why, like when people talk about this best ever stuff, it's hard to say. Like, but when I think of technically sound fighters, then hell yeah, I put Floyd up there. And in regards to technically sound, some of the best to ever do that shit. But like, dog, I can't put you in the categories with like Ali. I can't put you up there with guys like I can't even I look at Mike Tyson. Even though Mike Tyson was fucked up and crazy,
oh my God,
he still wasn't playing
today,
with
it. Down to today, even Mike Tyson still will put on, you know, yo, ooh. Today, if Mike Tyson,
I'm just talking about
if Mike Tyson were to fight freaking Jake Paul, Logan Paul, you think this nigga's gonna come out?
He wouldn't do it probably. And if he did do it,
Mike Tyson,
he would. It'd be over fast. It'd be like I was saying about Pacquiao.
Pacquiao have a better chance.
All right, check it out.
Tyson.
I fuck with. You know how I fuck with battle rap. I fuck with battle rap heavy. Okay. Now, in battle rap, lately, there's been a little trend going on that these the industry rappers, the rappers that's in the game, that's in the industry, you know what I'm saying? They trying to come over and battle rap. All right. I see nothing wrong with it. I think it's cool. It's all for the culture. It's all hip hop. Then it's all good. It's all fine and dandy. But the battle rappers, when the industry rappers try to come over to their side and say that they want to battle, and they want to battle some of the best guys that they got over there, the battle rappers don't take that shit nice. They don't like the fact that the industry rappers is over there trying to come into their shit and do their thing. So when they actually get in front of them, they try to take their whole everything. They try to battle their ass back into the industry. You feel me? Because you don't belong. This ain't what you do. This is our house. This ain't what you do. You're not finna come in here and disrespect this. So we finna put it in your life to make sure you don't ever come back. All right? Floyd Mayweather don't do that. You know why he don't do that? Because he knows that he can fight these bullshit ass fights and people will pay, because these motherfuckers out here are dying to see him lose. Floyd Mayweather could say he fighting a zebra from the fucking San Diego Zoo in 6 months. Motherfuckers is gonna line up. You hear me? They gonna line up because they just gonna see just maybe the zebra might have a motherfucking ass. Just maybe. Shit is fucking crazy, man.
Shit, the zebra probably have a better chance of
I'm serious. This shit's sad, man.
The zebra probably have a better chance of freaking Logan Paul. Oh shit!
Look, I look, like I said, that's why he does what he does.
Oh,
it's all a game. It's because he makes himself, the image that he portrays, right, is the nigga you love to hate. Pardon my ninja French, because you know we don't really do the ninja shit like that, but you know, but like he's put it off as he's the ninja you love to hate. So when you can be young, rich, flamboyant, and black, it doesn't sting well. White people will pay to see you get your ass beat. People have been paying to see this man possibly lose. That's what the whole stigma of him being able to still have big fights is. It ain't about his skill no more, because they ain't the same. You know what I'm saying? Because he has not been serious about his craft for a very, very long time. It's been more about outside of the ring. You know what I'm saying? Which is nothing wrong with that if you're building your brand, getting your shit off. But I can just tell, like, it just seems like it's all low risk, high reward at all the fights. All the fights. And then it makes you wonder, how good could he possibly be if I gotta judge you really gonna, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, you don't want me to judge what you do with Logan Paul, but I bet you money if somebody says something about the Conor McGregor fight, you probably want your props for that. Because that was your 50-0. That was your 50-0. Conor McGregor was your 50. You feel what I'm saying? So, like, people always talk about, oh, well, Logan Paul was just the expedition, that Japanese shit was just the expedition. But what the hell do you consider Conor McGregor to be?
That was exhibition, wasn't it?
No.
No.
That was a sanctioned fight in the state of Las Vegas. It was Conor McGregor making his fucking professional debut. It should have been, because Conor really didn't deserve to even be there on that situation like that. So you want us to brush that off. You want us to brush off the Logan Paul shit like it was just the exhibition. But you want us to say, oh, well, I'm 50-0, but your 50th W is against Conor McGregor? Come on, man. You've been scamming people, bruh. Look, I'm not knocking his skill, but he's been scamming people. I really didn't want to talk about it, but I'm not talking about the Logan Paul shit. I'm just talking about the last string of his fights that everybody keep talking about. Oh, well, he's retired. And I've been telling motherfuckers, basically, he been retired since Canelo. He ain't been fighting nobody for real since Canelo. And he been making the most bread since then. So he been scamming us. And we shouldn't take it. That's all I'm saying. That's why I know you and I are not paying for none of his motherfucking fights no more. I know we're not doing it. Because we played into the scam. This is like a decade-long scam.
And it just got
we let it ride, and it's, you know, and
we had enough of it.
And then fighting the way that he did was enough for me. That was enough for me, fam. I can't do that shit no more, man. Not pay for it and support, no, because I've always done that. We've always done that. You know what I'm saying? You know how it is, how we do, man. When Mayweather used to fight, you know what it was.
Mm-hmm.
Don't play games with me, man. Mm-hmm. We go back, dog. Just because you in Florida now and I'm in California, we got history. And when Mayweather fought, it was like a fucking holiday. We go to people's cribs and fight parties, lit. Shit look like the club in the motherfucker house. Because of the fact that when Floyd stepping out.
Exactly. And it's
motherfuckers
like,
in the crib, they done brought everybody got Douce and Patron and big bottles, big ball in there. Everybody got the good gas loud out, all the food cooking. It literally was like a holiday when this man fought. He was scheming big time. And I tell you, don't act like you don't know what I'm talking about. But there'd be a couple times when we would go to the party and motherfuckers be like, man, that fight was some bullshit. We've been getting hoodwinked for a long time. Y'all motherfuckers can say he retired. I'm saying he been retired for a long, long time. And y'all paid his retirement fund because he started. Canelo was his pinnacle shot. When he beat Canelo, he was like, oh, I'm done. I'm good.
Yeah,
I beat him, and I knew I beat him at the right time. I beat him right before he hit his peak. I beat him before he hit his peak. Fuck all that 40 fight shit. You beat him before he hit his peak. He beat up like 30 cab drivers and 30 ex-drug lords that lived in Juarez, Mexico. Get the fuck out of here. Canelo wasn't at his peak. Canelo's at his peak right now. Now instead of
I think we're having some technical difficulties here with Ching Ming, so give us a couple seconds and we get this right back up.
There is new solar plus battery backup technology available that was just released on the market. After billions of dollars of research and development by the world's top engineers, with this new technology, you can not only power your home for weeks on end, but you can store that energy in a backup battery system so you're 100% covered in case of a blackout.
Manny Pacquiao tends to surprise his fans with his performances, and has done so recently with his choice of boxing opponents, fighting Adrian Broner and Keith Thurman while he's past the age of 40 is one of the greatest achievements ever by a boxer past his prime. But now he's gone and done it again. Manny Pacquiao will face Errol Spence in a mega fight on August 21st on Fox pay-per-view. I'm sure you were as I was when I saw this announcement. The timeless legend will face a young Errol
So we're back
who reigns
here with Ching Ming.
prime.
Sorry for the
If
technical
Manny Pacquiao were
difficulties.
to
We're
beat
back
Errol
here.
Spence, there is no question we must put him up there with the likes of Muhammad Ali.
see, now you hear that? When people talk like that, that's the kind of talk, you know what I'm saying? That's what you fight for. That is what it's about.
There is no question we must put him up there with the likes of Muhammad Ali and Sugar Ray Robinson when we're talking about the greatest legendary fighters of all time.
This
In
is
fact, now beat Spence, he's one of the greatest ever. He just has to be. Actually, he's already on that list. He's already top 10, with or without fighting Spence. Ever since Pacquiao beat Thurman to become the oldest welterweight champion in history, he solidified his standing as an all-time great. Take a look at Pacquiao's boxing record. His boxing career can be broken up into decades, with each year telling its own story. Each year, a new brand of opposition, a new challenge, a new step on the path toward greatness. From his beginning days in the Philippines to taking over the States with the dismantling of Lalo Laduaba, to his epic rivalries with Eric Morales and Juan Manuel Marquez, to his crushing victories over Oscar de la Hoya and Ricky Hatton, to the conquering of a giant with Antonio Margarito, to the blitzing victory over Miguel Cotto, the man has seen it all. A fight the world desperately wanted to see was Keith Thurman versus Errol Spence. Unfortunately, it never happened. Pacquiao's last two fights will now be against those two fighters. Manny Pacquiao will carry on the age-old tradition of fighting anyone, anywhere, anytime. Errol Spence is undefeated, and so is Thurman. These two consecutive fights are really telling of Pacquiao's willingness to take on not only the best of his generation, but the generations that come after him. Errol Spence will be a very tough fight for the Pac-Man. Spence is an excellent fighter with high physical strength. It's no surprise that Errol Spence is the favorite to win this fight. But Thurman, was the favorite too, and we all know how that went. Spence is one of two boxers highly regarded as the absolute best in the welterweight division. Of course, the other fighter being Terence Crawford. Spence may not hit as hard as Thurman, but when it comes to endurance and ring presence, Spence is definitely stronger. He's not a small welterweight, whereas Pacquiao isn't even a welterweight at all. Spence is an excellent inside fighter. He's able to remain calm under fire, and he packs one hell of a punch. But stylistically, Pacquiao may have what it takes to beat such a style. If Pacquiao can show the speed he had in the Thurman fight, in this fight, he may be able to pot shot Spence with his in and out footwork, speed, and unorthodox angles. But make no mistake in thinking that Spence can't box. Spence showed some great boxing skills against Mikey Garcia. An excellent jab kept Garcia at range all night, unable to find his footing for combinations. If Spence decides to box, Pacquiao will have a task in getting inside the range of that jab. Another interesting thing about this fight is that Spence will be the first southpaw Pacquiao has faced since David Diaz. Pacquiao dismantled Diaz in that fight, but Pacquiao is not the same man now, and Spence is better than David Diaz. Pacquiao has faced many men who are like Errol Spence, but Errol Spence has never fought anyone like Manny Pacquiao. The element of familiarity may work in Pacquiao's favor, as he relies more on experience as opposed to speed and power at this stage of his career. Spence is undefeated, and his recent victories came against Sean Porter and Danny Garcia. He has a great ability to stand his ground and roll with the punches. Pacquiao will not be able to push Spence back. His best bet will be to circle and choose his attacks carefully, getting in, landing, then getting out of danger, like he did in the Margarito fight. If Spence wants to slow Pacquiao's movement, he will need to cut the ring off effectively, because leaving Pacquiao an exit out to the side will allow Pacquiao to set up new attacks, which is what he's renowned for. Luckily for Spence, he's a great body puncher. Body punches, when implemented the correct way, can severely slow a fighter's movement. However, Spence rarely attacks the body first. He goes to the head, typically with the jab, then carries his attacks downstairs. Whereas someone like Canelo will go for the body first, or sometimes independently. Pacquiao, with his fast footwork, may be able to get out of danger before Spence makes his way downstairs. Spence, for the most part, is a flat-footed boxer. However, it's a common misconception to say that flat-footed boxers can't create positions like boxers that fight on their toes. Flat-footed boxers are almost always in a position to attack, and they are less obvious in their decisions to manipulate positions.
Facts. I am a flat-footed boxer.
Will work as he stands his ground with flat feet. This truly is such a crazy fight. You have Spence, who's looking to create a legacy of his own, with hopes to keep that undefeated record intact. He's looking to take the torch off Pacquiao and continue to create his own story with a spectacular victory. And then you have Pacquiao, who's already a living legend with the neck to defy the clock. You've got the power of Spence, but you've also got the speed of Pacquiao. You've got the youth of Spence, but you've also got the experience of Pacquiao. I think most people will agree that the best outcome for this fight will be a closely contested decision. Pacquiao is the underdog. He's fighting a very dangerous man in Errol Spence. No one wants to see Pacquiao go out in a bad way. I hope it's a good fight. May the best man win. Who do you guys think will win? Let us know in the comments section below.
There's a huge government scandal going on.
All right, man.
So,
Now look,
after watching that video,
well,
what is there to say about it?
It's an unbiased video that we just watched, but it's also pretty much the same thing that I said when we talked about it last week, when we just, we touched the base on it. It's pretty much everything that we was already talking about. But at the same time, the acknowledgement of Manny Pacquiao being like one of the best out here. to ever do it. Like, it's like he said Muhammad Ali and Sugar Ray Robinson. You feel me? Floyd don't want to even be that. Floyd don't even care about being that.
No,
That's
he's more interested in the money.
He don't even care about being that.
No,
Now
it's not about it's not about putting his name in a title or anything. It's about just making his pocket better.
That shit crazy, man. Is that really good for boxing? Is what I wonder. Like, is that good for boxing? You know what I'm saying?
I mean, to put it this way, I don't think it's good for boxing because how can you ever unify anything doing it that way? You can't unify anything going about fighting fighters that way. I feel like if you're gonna be considered the best, you have to fight all of the best. All of the people who's in your way, you have to fight.
Yeah, man. And but like I said, Floyd Mayweather has a way to get out of that. Like by saying I beat a whole bunch of champions. But did you beat the boxers? There were boxing champions out there, guys that could fight, but whatever. Let's get but with Spence, okay. This now you notice how how on the video they talked about the experience that both of them had with fighting each other, types of guys that they fought, and like Antonio Margarito is a lot. He's built a lot like Spence, like same size. You know what I mean? A lot, and so it's not like you said. It also about how Pacquiao has fought guys like him, and I told you, I said Pacquiao's the best fighter Spence has ever fought. Easy, this ain't even close, So it's going to be interesting to see, man. Like,
this goes for like if you was to look at it the same way how we're looking at it as for Mayweather and Logan Paul now. If we was to look at it the same way, it's like, okay, Spence, this is the best fighter Spence has ever fighting. It's almost like saying, hey, you have the greatest man of all time going against this dude. He's good as well, but shit, who can I go for? Like, yo, you gotta rock with Manny Pacquiao, the greatest of all times, or Spence, the new young upstart boxer. You know what I'm saying? The new sensation of boxing right now. And it's like, yo, how the fuck can I compare both of these guys? And it's like, you got Spence, who's an awesome fighter. You get Pacquiao is just a fuck.
He's a legend, man. He'll go. Yeah, he'll go. Yeah, he'll go.
Like,
he'll walk a legend.
It tells me, like, yo, in my eyes, like Spence have to go in there and try to knock Pacquiao out. Not necessarily he needs to win by knockout, because if he goes to decision, since what's his name's the underdog, he might win by decision, Spence.
Well, look, man. I don't know how to. I'm gonna pick. I told you we did the predictions last week, and I picked Pacquiao. Just from the heart. That's a heartfelt pick.
Mm-hmm.
Now, like I said, me being trying to be an expert, then I probably would pick Spence, but I'm picking Pacquiao. That's just like a heartfelt thing because I respect Pacquiao so much, and I want to say that Pacquiao. When I look back 10 years from now, and I look at Pacquiao and Mayweather's careers, like Mayweather can say that he won the most, may have made more money fighting, but I'm probably gonna respect Manny Pacquiao's career more. When it's all said and done, I'm probably gonna respect Manny Pacquiao's career more because I'm probably gonna be talking about him fighting Errol Spence at 42. You feel me? I'm probably going to be talking more about stuff like that being great, and him starting at 106 pounds, and
I
getting
mean,
all the way.
or you can even add into the fact that like people who Mayweather fought and people who Pacquiao fought, Pacquiao got get them out of there quicker.
Well, now that me back to the point that I was trying to make earlier about he fights Mayweather, but he don't engage. Now, all those like Ricky Hatton was gonna get knocked out by either one of them, like, and yeah, he beat up a couple other guys that Mayweather had a little bit of issues with, but it's the way it's the different type, it's the different dog. Like if you got a dog that's looking at you like, yo, I gotta knock you out, bro. I'm trying to knock you out. And that's Pacquiao. He's a different kind of dog. When you got another one that's like, oh, I'm just trying to get out of here alive and get my paycheck and go home. I'm not. That don't mean
there's nothing wrong with that either. But I feel like as a boxer, you have to put on a show as well.
And not only do you have to put on a show, you want to be able to have people say after you finish, if you got to the level, to the tippity top, you don't want them to talk. You're going to want them to forever talk about you. And you don't want them to forever talk about you on the bullshit. I don't care what nobody say. You don't want people, when you die, you long gone, the whole way you stay around is that how people feel about you. Because if you do right, when you cross over to the other side, you'll always still be here because your peoples will make sure your memory live on. Mm-hmm. But if you don't do it the right way, people are gonna try to find ways to forget about you, to leave it in the past. You know what I'm saying?
Muhammad Ali, for example, like that.
Muhammad Ali, he'll live forever.
That name's not going nowhere.
He's gonna live forever. He's gonna live forever. And it's like when I look at Floyd Mayweather on some this is Floyd damn, wasn't that some embarrassing shit? That shit was crazy, man. When he fought that little Japanese dude, we'll probably be, I mean, and then like we'll probably be more like focused on that bullshit because that's
more recent.
Do you really want to go out? Oh yeah, do you want to go out like this? Manny ain't trying to go out like that, and he could have. He could have went out and
he could have went out like that because he lost 7 fights. He could have been went out like that after the second loss or the third loss.
No, I ain't even talking about that. I'm talking about now, like the shit that Mayweather's pulling off. This shit that Mayweather's doing right now with fighting all these sideshows. With him fighting all the sideshows, you know what I'm saying? Pacquiao could be doing the same thing. Pacquiao could be fighting UFC Thai fighters and all that shit. Like he could be doing all that, no problem. But he doesn't because he still got the dog in him, and he's still making a whole lot of money. Like let's not act like these guys don't make money. Like Mayweather just finds a way to squeeze out more because he's a hustler, and he sells the fight that people hate him and want to see him get knocked out, or people want to see him lose. But hey, Spence, Pacquiao, it's pretty much the biggest fight you can make right now. Like you can't make another fight pretty much bigger than this. Like what else do you got? I mean, Fury and Wilder 3 is a big fight, but
we'll touch more based on that on another day because
it's a big fight. But
leading more up to the fight, we learn more things about it and stuff like that, and there'll be more hype to it. Right now all we know is the fight date and the fight when the fight's happening. I don't really see too much of those two fighters actually engaging at all at each other.
Well, because I mean, it'll heat up more as it gets closer to it, but
this other fight.
Yeah, but the whole, but back to the Spence Pacquiao, this is the best fight that you can make right now. Tyson Fury and Wilder is not the best fight that you can make right now. and it won't be. You know why? Because they ain't fighting Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao is like still one of the bigger names in boxing, but he's still probably the top 5 box office names in boxing. You know what I mean? So this makes great sense, and it's good for boxing because this is the kind of stuff people want to see. You want to see the best fighters out there fighting each other. That's what you want. You want to see the best fighters fight each other. It was like that.
This is what we're getting right now: the best fighting the best. We got the best. Errol Spence Jr. is like the best right now, and you have Pacquiao, who is the GOAT. And it's like, yo, they fight. It's like the crashes of the crashes of the genre. You know what I'm saying? Like it's mind-boggling who the is going to win this fight.
Oh man, it's gonna be a good one, man. Like and regardless, Pacquiao gonna bring it. You can bet that. You can bet Pacquiao's gonna bring it.
Either win or lose for Pacquiao, people's gonna still look at Pacquiao as the same because guess what? He came out there to fight the best. Win or lose, he came out to do it. He didn't. He wasn't scared to do it. You know, on my belief, I heard that Spence was the first one who started talking all this stuff about fighting Pacquiao, and Pacquiao was like, "Okay, I fight him."
Yeah, man.
Really? Yeah. Why not?
It's just a different dog, man. But it's like Pacquiao is an old school kind of guy, kind of fighter. He goes from that. He cut from a different cloth, and it's the cloth that if you're gonna box, you can box and make a whole lot of money, but you want to be the man.
Mm-hmm.
You want to be the man too. Making the money, yeah, we can make the money, but do you want to be the man too? That's what Pacquiao aspires to be. That's what's up.
Think about it. He's not an American. He's a Filipino. That all people from all over the world who watches. You know what I'm saying? Because when you say Errol Spence, before the Pacquiao fight, I guarantee you people could say Errol Spence. And some people probably in the other countries like, who's Errol Spence? Who's Errol Spence? You know? It happens. But if someone say Pacquiao, it'd be like, oh, I know. Oh, I heard of Pacquiao. I know who Pacquiao is.
Well, shit. Pacquiao's a household name.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody know who Manny Pacquiao is. Manny Pacquiao been on commercials, all kinds of shit. You know what I'm saying? Movies. Like, come on, man. He's been everywhere. He a household name. Errol Spence ain't there yet, but he getting there.
Mm-hmm.
If he beat Pacquiao,
that's like, yep. Mm-hmm. But yeah, anyways, but back to Pacquiao and Spence fight. Just think about the outcome that will happen right after the fight. You know, who would be the greatest after this fight? But until next time, guys, think about that. If you can like, subscribe. Like we said before, we're gonna make this YouTube channel better. We're going to make it great. Until next time, Coastal Boxing Club, CBC. Let's get it. You know, we're always here. We're going to be here for all the live streams, any kind of fights that's going to be on live, all of the top fights down to some of the even middle class fights. We're going to try to post a stream. We're going to have the live commentary. We're going to get this YouTube channel popping. You already know it. CBC, Coastal Boxing Club. Let's go.